Okay, got it. Nice one. All right. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, YouTube. We shall see what happens here. I'll give you a brief introduction to who I am. Forgive me for looking across two different screens. I'm on my phone down here and I'm on YouTube up here. I want to help. How bizarre is that? And do you know what? I'm quite happy to do it for nothing. So if you've got some aches, pains, joint problems, kind of technical issues with your body, you want a bit of a reboot. Let's imagine your body is a bit like a computer and it's running a bit slow. You've got aches, pains, stuff going on with your body. You don't really know what to do. Maybe you've taken painkillers. Maybe you've tried different diets. Maybe you've tried different exercises or whatever. And it's not really working. Let me know. And maybe there's something I can do about it. And weirdly, particularly YouTube here, if you are watching this back and you're watching this another time, leave a comment anyway and see what happens. Just hang around for a few minutes and see how it can change. Okay, or just send me a message. That's fine. You can do that. Say, leave a comment. I don't get hundreds of comments, so at this point in time, I'll be able to kind of address someone individually. So if you want that, let me know. I don't really know what to talk about. I haven't planned like a speech or anything. What I could do though, this might be useful. So because we can do share screen, let me just bring this up. Levels of consciousness, and let's see if I flip the camera around down here on TikTok. Can I set that up to be able to see my screen? Ish, you can get a good reflection of me in my computer there. Levels of consciousness, images, that's the one we want. Hey, boom. This is the one I like. So if anyone here over on YouTube? No, of course not. Why would anyone do that? Hey, let's zoom in. Hey, levels of consciousness. See if I can prop this up so I don't have to hold things. No, what's going on? Oh man, everything's going weird here. I don't know why this has come up. I must have clicked on something. Yeah, there we go. YouTube's looking at this. And so I want to zoom in on one new message. Okay, right. Okay, can't see anything. Zoom in the levels of consciousness. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, I hate it when it does that. I can do that. Touch screen. Boom. Powerful. Right. Let's see if I can prop up my phone so you can actually see my computer screen here. That's not going to work. So, dear TikTok and YouTube, yeah, let's have that like that maybe. I need to prop that up. Give me a minute. Not that anyone's here. Bit of a musical interlude. Let's prop that in. There we go. There we go. We can now see it. I've propped it up with a bit of tissue. Can I zoom this in? Oh, we can. Oh, look at that. That's magic. Magic. Me and technology. Look at that. Working in perfect harmony. So, levels of consciousness. Hopefully, maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you haven't. And I think it's really cool. It's a really cool way to look at life. To look at life this way. Now, everyone This is from David Hawkins. Everyone is somewhere on this chart. Everyone is somewhere. And kind of knowing where you are and just knowing what this chart is and that it exists. And if you're watching this somewhere, you can just simply go to Google and type in levels of consciousness, David Hawkins, and you will find something like this in the image search. It kind of gives you a bit of an idea of where you are. Okay, so let's kind of just run through it. I'm just going to let my cat in the back door. Sounded ruder than it was. It's literally letting the cat back in the back door. So, levels of consciousness. What are we doing here? So I generally go through the name of the level. Okay, but the way you kind of, or one of the ways of using this chart to use it and go, okay, well, where am I? You look at your day and you look at how you view people. Okay, and kind of there's a generalness to it. Okay, so how do you see the people in your life? Is life disappointing? Is life a little bit scary? Is life hopeless? Okay, and that will give you a general idea of where you're at on the levels of consciousness. And kind of through the day, you go up and down a little bit, but there's an average kind of, you will bounce around certain places. Okay. Honestly, if I would say, I spend a lot of time in the fear, anxiety, this kind of orange zone, this orange zone here. I know I'm not doing as well as I would like to be. I would like to be obviously up here. So higher up on the list, I mean, that's kind of where we want to be. We want to be living a life where we are in harmony with whatever happens in our life. Okay, so if we're good or bad, doesn't really matter. It's because we kind of know that, well, do you know what? It's neither good or bad. Okay, because there is no kind of good and bad in life. It just is. Because if you have, I used this example the other day, if you have an injury or a pain or something, and that for some reason, you were going to go out, you were going to drive the car somewhere, but you have an injury, you have a headache, you have, some other situation happen in your life, then that prevents you from going out in the car, and you have no idea that on that day, perhaps you'd gone out in the car at that particular time, you'd have been involved in an accident. So you don't know whether something is good or bad, and that would have really changed your life. But having a headache, that was pretty minor stuff, and it just delayed you in going out and doing the things you do. So we can never know if anything is good or bad. So sometimes, discipline and motivation might get you in trouble, because it's like, well, yeah, I must do this at this time, and I must do that at that time, and I must do it in a certain way. And do you know what? Sometimes that might take you down the wrong path at the wrong time, and something you don't want to have happens. But then, on the other hand, that thing might happen, and that might be the best thing that ever happens to you. So it's really hard to say. So you need to kind of come at life with, wearing life very loosely. And when we're kind of moving out of this fear and desire and anger phase and come into acceptance and go, do you know what? Actually, my life ain't that bad. This is okay. And you come to accept what's going on in your life. And when you start to accept what's going on in your life, that's when things can start to change, rather than saying, I want this and I want that, and why is it not changing? And I'm doing this and that, and I'm doing the exercise, I'm changing my diet, I'm going to bed early, I'm getting sunlight, and I'm doing all these good habits, but nothing's changing. It's kind of because we trying to force life to be a certain way, and that doesn't really work. We have to kind of just allow and accept things to happen as they're supposed to happen, and your guide for that is really your intuition saying do this and do that. And it's the key really is then learning how to listen to our intuition and going, right, okay, yeah, my intuition is telling me to do this, and then you've got to follow it. Unfortunately, our intuition tells us to do things that maybe we're scared of doing. There's a bit of anxiety there, or it's like, oh, I really don't like doing that. For me, it's like I don't like phone calls, so therefore I'm not very good at doing cold calling, or I just simply avoid it, and that then affects my business. But I could look at it the other way and go, well, if it affects me that much, is that the right thing for me to be doing? Whereas coming on live on TikTok, on YouTube, I can do that. I quite enjoy it. I quite enjoy helping people, educating in my special way of educating people, teaching about the things that I've learned and come across over the years that I've been looking at this stuff. Because it helps when you understand life in maybe not exactly this way with the levels of consciousness, but there are similar things to learn. It's not just this. Life does become a bit easier. Life does become a bit more free-flowing. Life becomes a bit more happy and just relaxed, and you don't have to stress about things all the time. So I've got a few people down here on TikTok, which is really exciting because I'm often talking to an empty room. One of my, you would have missed this right at the very beginning, but I generally help people with pain. This here, get my hands in view. This here that you can see on my computer screen is one of the things I talk about that helps people understand kind of where they are, where they're going, what they want, and maybe why things aren't quite working out. If you've got an acre of pain, okay, leave a comment. And what I really do is I use muscle testing, which David Hawkins used to kind of find this stuff out. Muscle testing is really interesting. It's a way of finding out truth, but it kind of depends on where you are on this list as to kind of how much truth you can find. So it's quite interesting how it kind of links together. So someone who's right at the very, spending a lot of their time and their general emotional level in the levels of consciousness is high, they will be able to find out more accurate information than someone who's down here. And again, according to David Hawkins, anyone who's below this red line, this second red line, the one below courage and pride, if you can see my mouse, that muscle testing is inaccurate. It's just not accurate if you're down here doing that. I can't tell you where I am because it's impossible you can't muscle test yourself to know where you are on this. Is kind of it's just inaccurate. It's just inaccurate. You either are or you aren't, right? And you just kind of got to accept it. So I am wherever I am. It's not a competition to race to the top. It would be nice to get there because, that's when everything just kind of goes your way and you can create kind of on a whim. You can just go, right, I want this, and things in your life just show up. Okay, it's almost like instant manifestation if you're right at the very top. But if you're lower down the list, you still might be able to kind of manifest stuff and create things. This is why manifestation doesn't work for so many people. Again, according to David Hawkins, when he wrote the books, which is between kind of 12 and 25 years ago, because he wrote multiple books over like a 15-ish year period, he was saying that 78% of the world is down here. Okay, below this line of courage. So that leaves 22% of the world up here, kind of making sure we don't blow ourselves up, essentially. So where was I going with that? I don't know. It was going somewhere and I lost it. But yeah, it's an interesting way of viewing the world. Yes, why manifestation doesn't work. You kind of have to be above this red line for manifestation to work. And that's why it doesn't work for so many people, because the vast majority of people are below this line. So that's why when you get coaches, they're encouraging you to do things that you're scared of doing, because it puts you above this red line, and then you can manifest. So sometimes you have to do the scary thing, deal with the anxiety, kind of let go of desiring the thing and start doing to bring these things into your life. So you have to do something that you're worried about. Usually a little bit. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know, skydiving with lions, because that would be pretty scary, and no parachute. That would be stupid. That would probably be a level of pride. But yeah, you don't have to do like crazy things. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I've been putting that off for a long time because I'm a little bit nervous about things. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. Maybe, they'll tell me no, and I'll put in all this effort and get no responses. But once you start doing that, you might then realize that's actually not the thing that I need to do. I need to do something else instead. Or the something else just kind of shows up because you've had the courage to do the thing that you were afraid of doing. And then all of a sudden someone comes into your life and says, hey, Tony, hey, Pete, hey, Susan, hey, whatever your name is, here's this opportunity. Funny enough, I had that the other week where I started cold calling. I only made one. And my wife, the next day, my wife got a call from an insurance company, because there's stuff going on there in our lives. Basically, she's won the claim and there's going to be some money coming our way. Cool. And it's unlikely to be a small number, but it won't last long, and it won't go that far. It's not like huge amounts, but it's some, and it's going to help. So I made a phone call day one. Day two, money comes from an unknown source. Okay, essentially, we were kind of half expecting it, but we weren't really sure because it had been going on for so long. We thought maybe we wouldn't get that anymore, but we are, which is cool. We just don't know when it's coming. So maybe I need to make another phone call, and and maybe it'll come a bit faster. Who knows? So TikTok sometimes does this. It sometimes tells me someone's here, and maybe they're actually not. But if you're here and you've been listening to me waffling on for the last 15, 20 minutes, do you have something in your life which basically you don't want, or some goal that you're looking to get that you're struggling for, that you're working towards, and it doesn't seem to be getting any closer? Maybe it's an ache or a pain, maybe it's a health problem. Those tend to be the things that I help with most. And when you solve the health problem, it's another way I view things. I might turn the camera around here on TikTok, so I'm not talking about levels of consciousness anymore. Let's see if I can flip camera. There we go. Hello, world. There's me. Let's put you back here so you're not right in my face. I'm not right in your face. What was I going to talk about next? Let's stop sharing on that. I don't need that anymore. Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Your brain is a wonderful tool, wonderful machine. And it is aware of, at the very least, everything that is going on in your body at any one time. It knows exactly what's going on. It knows about your thyroid levels. It knows about your vitamin D levels. It knows about all of your vitamin levels. It knows about all of your hormones. It knows about all of your joint angles. It knows exactly where you are in space at this point in time. It knows what the sun level lights are. It knows how much UVA, UVB, infrared, and all the other stuff. Okay, it's aware of everything that's going on, but it filters it right down to like a tiny fraction of what's actually going on. Okay, so yes, you're aware of the words I'm saying, you're aware of maybe the things around in the room, but you're not aware of what's going on in another room. You're not aware of what's going on in my mind, other people's minds. You're not aware of all these things, but your brain technically is in tune with all of that. It can read those energy signatures. It can read that. It can hear that. Essentially, it can feel it, but you're not aware because it's most of the time it's unimportant. It's irrelevant, and this is kind of where intuition is kind of lives. Okay, it's about slowing down enough to go, right, okay, well, according to all the information that's going on in the universe right now, what's the thing that's going to get me to where I want to be? And you sit down and go, right, okay, what is that? And I did that about 20 minutes ago, and it was just jump on YouTube and jump on TikTok, see what happens, and talk. Okay, so sometimes I'll sit here and meditate and I treat. Other times I'll sit here and talk. Today is a talky day. So what's going on? So when someone's ill, when someone's got aches and pains, your brain is aware of that. So it has to, let's say it's a pain in the knee. So what your brain is doing is it will talk to your muscles, tendons, ligaments. Okay, it will talk to your body and say, look, if we walk in such and such a way or move in such and such a way, that will cause more pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust things and twist you and turn you and move you around a little bit so that walking only causes a certain amount of pain. It doesn't cause incredible amounts of pain. But then what that does over time is it tightens up certain muscles, it loosens off other ones, it creates weaknesses in joints, instabilities in joints, and then one day along the line, you get back pain and you wonder why. Well, do you know what? Why have I got back pain? But it's because your brain has been aware of this problem in your ankle or in your knee for such a long time, and it's avoided and avoided and avoided and avoided because it's really good at adapting. And then because of all of those adaptions, you then get back pain. Okay? And then you go to a physio, you go to a chiropractor, you go to your doctor, you go to whoever, you get some painkillers, you get some exercises for your back. Okay? And the back pain, yeah, maybe it improves a little bit, but it doesn't go away because the problem was a knee injury that you had 10 years ago. Your body adapted and you didn't even know that your body adapted, and things have changed, things have moved, muscles are working differently to how they kind of should be working, and you've got back pain and you're trying to deal with the back pain, but what you really need to deal with is the knee pain that you had before. My job through muscle testing is to and intuition really is to find those hidden causes behind injuries. I can do it online. So that's why I'm here offering my services to you guys. It's like, look, if you've got an ache or a pain, I can perhaps find what's kind of a more important area for you to focus on and go, right, yeah, instead of focusing on your back, you need to look at that shoulder thing that you had 5 years ago. And once we get that shoulder thing sorted, your back will loosen off. Okay, the headaches will stop, the whatever. So if you've got any comments, okay, YouTube or TikTok, let me know, because then I can do something about it. If nobody lets me know anything, you're going to be shooting around in the dark just as you were before. So let's know. Let's know. It says I've got 2 people here. I think someone's fallen asleep. But that's cool. If someone wants to fall asleep watching me, that's all right too. Sometimes we need sleep. The other big thing I'll talk about is emotions. Emotions control us, okay? If we let them. What's a big one? If I look at levels of consciousness again, so it's more for YouTube, but because if you're still watching after 24 minutes, wow, I salute you. Okay, because nobody is. But here we go. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're just doing this for the joy of doing it, aren't we? Yeah, emotions. So if you feel sad, what happens to your body? How do you breathe? What are your shoulders doing? How are you walking? Are you walking and standing and breathing the same way that someone who's confident and happy is? No. And so if you are generally or have long periods of feeling, let's say, down, that's going to affect how your body works. And then that's going to go on and affect how your hormones show up. Okay? So whether that's serotonin, your dopamine, and kind of looking at it from that perspective, or even how your body uses minerals and how your body uses nutrients from the food that you eat. So, and that's why kind of special diets might come into things. It's like, okay, well, if someone's like this, they need more vitamin A, they need more vitamin B or vitamin B6 or B12 or, whatever it might be. Someone needs more of that because their body is just using it up faster to try and overcome the imbalance in hormones, the imbalance in the body's just trying to correct. So sometimes you need a special diet to overcome the emotion, or it help with the emotion. But if you worked on the emotion, you wouldn't need the special diet. And if you work on the body, you can change the emotion as well. So again, it's a simple experiment. If you kind of just hunch down, kind of slump and kind of look down at the ground, you might start feeling like not so good. But then if you bring your shoulders back and up and kind of bring your chest out and straighten out your neck, sit nice and tall and start thinking kind of happy thoughts, well, that brings about maybe a bit more confidence, a bit more happiness, a bit more strength in your body. So how you sit, how you stand, how you move affects your emotions. And then if you do that often enough, you will change your emotions. So that's why going to the gym and exercising is so transformative for so many people. It's not that they're going to the gym. It's not the exercise, really. It's the changing of the posture. It's the strengthening of the muscles, which the brain really loves. Okay, it's like, okay, cool. I'm moving these joints in a way that's new and interesting. And the brain goes, okay, right. Because you're moving these joints and muscles more, then your brain is communicating with your body better. Okay, it's strengthening the connection between brain and body. And go, right, okay, yeah, I know. My brain's saying, I know where my hip is. I know where my knee is. I know what these muscles are doing because it's just practiced moving them in new and different ways and ways you haven't moved them in a very long time. So yeah. Cool. How long have I been here? I think I'm done. But thanks for watching. Anyone who's stuck around for more than about 2 seconds, I really appreciate it. Really do. YouTube, thank you very much. Anyone who's watched, like, subscribe, thank you very much over there. Anyone's down here, you can follow and find out more about me, what I talk about in a bit more organized manner when I talk on my videos down here on TikTok. So for YouTube, I'm on TikTok as Go Beyond Possible. For TikTok, I am on YouTube as, Retrain Pain. Okay, you'll find a picture of a brain. Okay, that's me. And you'll find videos of me looking like this. Cool. Right. Cheerio. Thanks for sticking around for a little while. Bye-bye.